This is Sam Prue from Who Would Win Masters. We've opened new official channels and we want you there. Follow Who Would Win Masters on Instagram and subscribe to youtube.com/@WhoWouldWinMasters. And on YouTube, click the Visit Community button to leave your 1v1 battle challenges. Leave a comment and you might just hear it read on the show. Be a part of the arena, be a part of the debate. Now let's dive in. Welcome back to another episode of Who Would Win Masters, the wrap-up. Tonight, we open a ballot box on a fight that jumped straight off the page, a battle of multiple lives versus multiple personalities, indie rock chaos versus lunar vengeance, poutine versus patatas. That's Egyptian for potato fries stuff. Today, we're breaking down the aftermath of the latest battle. We're revealing your vote totals, diving into your takes, and pulling comments straight off the Discord and elsewhere to see how this fight really played out. I'm Sam Proof on all the socials, and we're going to find out how you voted when we asked you who would win Scott Pilgrim versus Moon Knight. This decision didn't end with the episode. It carried straight into the community, and y'all had a lot to say. But in the immortal words of Sex Bomb drummer Kim Pine, we're here to make you think about death and get sad and decide which of these two fighters survives this episode, which I'm pretty sure is an exact quote. And as Mark Spector once said, I'm so ready for this, and so am I. So let's get into it. Our guest debater was Leroy Paterson, representing Scott Pilgrim, and he's back with us tonight. Thank you, Leroy, for joining us once again. Welcome back. How's your week been?
You said guest debater, right? Not anything else. Debater,
family friendly.
Okay,
family friendly.
Making sure.
Okay.
Things are good.
Yep. Good. All right, and of course, a man who famously gives his 2 cents, which is coincidentally the amount left on the ground after fighting Scott Pilgrim, is Ray Stacanis. Ray, are you ready to rock?
I feel good enough to rock. Hold on, my light's off. Now it's on. Boy, that helps a ton. Boy,
Especially
I look so much better now. For the people watching the videos, yes. 2 cents. I've been known to give my 2 cents. I've been known to give my 12 cents. I've been known to give at the office. Sorry, I don't have anything for you today. I loved this battle, Scott Pilgrim versus Moon Knight. A definite clash of styles, and yet one that makes all the sense if you really don't break it down too hard.
Right on. All right, a quick shout out to those joining us in the live chat as we record this. So shout out to Lord Snurts and anyone else who joins us after that. Too bad you missed your shot, but you can join us in future wrap-up episodes when you become a member of our Patreon at patreon.com/whowouldwinmasters. And real quick, before we dive into the reviews, I want to take a quick second to acknowledge the passing of the great Catherine O'Hara, who brought us an abundance of hilarity in everything she did, from SCTV and Home Alone to Beetlejuice and Schitt's Creek and just so many awesome things. So yeah, if you have a favorite performance, jump over in our Discord and let us know. What character was your favorite Catherine O'Hara performance? Yeah, that came out of the blue. I don't know if it hit anyone else's heart, but I was like knocked off my day.
It was a real big surprise when it happened. You know, I'm a big fan of her performance in Beetlejuice.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
That's probably one of my favorites. Her SCTV performance, just kind of across the board, was absolutely phenomenal. I know a lot of people loved her in the Home Alone movies.
Sure.
And look, she's great in everything she did, but keep it real. I will remember her from the Nelvana holiday cartoons from Canada that she voiced back in like the 70s and 80s.
Nice.
Because that's what we listened to or watched on Knowing Is Half the Podcast. So a real legend.
Sure.
A real true one, Catherine O'Hara.
For sure. Cool. Should we get into reviews?
Oh, what the heck? We have 4 reviews this week. I challenged the listeners after last week that we got 3 last week, and I thought that was very good.
Yeah.
But getting 4 this week, even better. Keep the reviews coming. I want to read them. I appreciate them. And all that does is help us here at the show. And if you have not gone on and giving us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or whatever you're into. It's the literal least you could do to help us out if you enjoy the show.
Yeah.
It'll take you like 30 seconds. Come on, people.
For sure. You hit the 5, you write a few things, typey, hit that submit, boom, you get a shout out. All right, we're starting it off with Missing True, who's titled This Great Show, and says, "Why, hello there. I am a big fan of the show and love the new format. Ray and Sam are great, and the guest debaters keep the episodes fresh and interesting. I'd love to see Cloud Strife get another shot sometime soon. Cloud was extremely limited, I think this is supposed to say, in the material he had available, to which greatly dwarfed his power." Materia. Oh, I'm not familiar enough with Final Fantasy. Okay. I know enough to know that that's what that should have been. Dwarfed his power level. Give him an endgame build, and he would wipe the floor with Link. That is bold statement. Cloud.
Just Knights of the Round is all it takes.
All right. Cloud
just
versus
hit him with Knights of the Round, and boom, it's over.
Cloud versus Kirito.
Good luck.
Is that right? Would be awesome. I'm not familiar with that one. Thanks for keeping us entertained. And that's it. Yeah, I'm not familiar with Kirito, but the nice thing about my role is I don't have to know anything, even how to say English half the time. So that's cool. But yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, I have no idea who Kirito is.
Yeah.
I just do not know.
Okay.
I'm even looking it up, and it's showing me a character named Kazuto Kirigaya.
Yeah, I got the same Google
Sword
result.
Art Online.
So maybe it was like
I don't think that's even the same person. So
I don't know.
Gosh, people who love anime are really into anime, and I respect them for it.
Sure.
It's not my bag per se, but I do try to keep up to a point.
Yeah.
I will say that Cloud Strife should beat Link 10 times out of 10. I don't even think it's close.
All right.
Link's got a lot of good gadgets. And if we're talking about he gets all his gadgets at once, but Link gets access to all his powers, Leroy himself said it, Knights of the Round.
That's right.
We'll take him down. Holy will take him down. Like it'll all 99,999 him. Look,
all right.
I worked on 3 different Final Fantasy games, 2 mobile and the Xbox remake of Final Fantasy 10-2 remaster. One of my favorites of all time. And I will say right now, I will rep any Final Fantasy character at any point. In fact, I'm playing a Final Fantasy-like game in retro style. I got back into it again. We'll talk about that later in the show. But I am here for the Cloud Strife Final Fantasy VII Love. Still got to play Rebirth. Let's go.
Cool.
I think Orin beats Cloud, though, from 10. Just saying.
Oh, boy, I don't know. That's a tough one.
Just saying.
It is tough. Yeah.
I was soloing bosses with that guy by the end of that game.
I mean, to be fair, Cloud soloed bosses by the end of 7 if you did that right, too. So, I mean, that's not really a braggable point in a Final Fantasy game. Just saying. But we'll go on to the next one here.
Mm-hmm.
This is from C-Mac is King. Love for the show is the name of the 5-star review. He says, along with Scythe the Rogue, I have been listening to this show for 10 years. Wow. Through the ups, downs, hardships, and tribulations, successes, and summits. This show means more to me and is more than just a podcast. I agree. It is a representation of our community and our passions. Yes.
Awesome. Yeah.
And I would just love to thank you all for gifting us this comfort throughout these 10 years of my life. Thank you to, I can't make out this first name, but he also says Ray, awkward ally, by the way. And thank you to all the people who made and continue to further this masterpiece. I would appreciate to be read on air to express how deeply grateful I am, and you got your wish, sir.
There you go.
Thanks.
Of course. Thank you.
Wishing y'all the best. Thank you, C-Mac is King. That's very nice of you to say.
Nice.
It means a lot to us, too. Like, we want the show to be about the community. We want this show to be about you just as much as it's about us. And more than anything, we want the show to be about Leroy Paterson, the human tackboard.
That sounded like a vote for Scott Pilgrim. I'm just saying. Just throwing that out there. He didn't directly say it, but to me, that's how it felt.
And I guess if you read between
he's got to get on the Patreon.
Yeah, that's true. He does have to join the Patreon to make it official. So you could...
For free, people.
Yeah, you could make it metaphoric as you want. Gotta join the Patreon for free.
Right. I think if you read the first letter of every sentence, it spells out Scott Pilgrim 1. Yeah, it's in code. It's fine.
And I wish it was 10 years. Moving on. This one, pretty straightforward. No metaphors here. Copyrighted issue says, please, I would like the A-Team versus the boys for a match in March. I know this is the second time I said this, but I don't care. Also, please, Jason or Michael versus the T800/850 for Shocktober. Also, I'm finally doing it. Join Patreon. Nice. Very good.
Look at you.
Do it.
He's all grown up.
All right. And then it's a hop, skip, and a jump to the Discord where you can push your Jason or Michael versus the T800 battle there. I don't know about the A-Team versus the boys, because I know we're just talking about the humans, but they power up. It's limited.
Yeah, it'd have to be the boys without the compound V in their system, I would think.
Yeah, there'd be stipulations.
Who wants to see the boys without the compound V?
I mean,
Butcher could throw down.
Butcher's pretty cool, but yeah. We got, Butcher versus BA? Is that how that would go down?
It would have to go down that way, although, people would probably, if they were on the internet, they'd pair Mother's Milk up against B.A. Baracus, but he would get bodied.
Yeah.
It'd be pretty rough.
Sadly, yeah.
But I'm a big fan of both properties, the A-Team and the boys.
Definitely.
Maybe I should start an A-Team rewatch.
That sounds
maybe
good.
That's a thing to do.
That could be a good thing.
That show's really good.
Yeah.
There's some silly episodes of the A-Team. I keep seeing evidence of it, but we'll see. Anyway, here we go. Last review, number 4 from Mr. Squirrel, 2099. It's called The Moon Haunts Scott Pilgrim. Ooh. He says, never read the comics or seen the movie, Scott Pilgrim does seem like a character that I need to check out. I agree. Sure. As for the battle, I feel that Scott's greatest weakness is his own motivation, as Ramona Flowers is apparently the reason for all of his greatest feats. Since she isn't a part of this, I feel it ends up in Mark's, Stevens, and Jake's favor. That'd be the Moon Knight personalities. Love the show. Love the episode. Love Moon Knight. Hashtag Ray was right. Hashtag Sam's decision song. Hashtag Moon Knight movie. Please. I agree.
Let's do that.
On every point.
Sure.
Okay, one, you can't just write in and support your own thing. You can't. That's cheating. And 2, if you rearrange the words in that post, he said Scott Pilgrim won. So,
wow,
doing pretty good here
Scott
today.
Pilgrim.
Oh boy,
love Scott Pilgrim. I feel that Moon Knight's greatest weakness is his own. Yeah, we can rearrange this as once as we want to.
Yeah, it works.
Descramble it or re-scramble it.
Ends up in Mark's, Stevens, and Jake's favor. Yeah,
we did it. We accomplished
a lot. Decision song movie, please. Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, I'd watch that. Sam's decision song.
Sweet.
Not gonna lie about that.
Right, it's the sequel to Sophie's Choice.
Sam's on screen wants us to know that knowing is half the podcast crossovers are tight from earlier. So just keep that in mind. Also, we got this. But that's all you get on this episode.
Okay.
I'm a little Sam's decision song teaser.
I thought I was going to have time to drink a whole little slip of coffee there. Slip of coffee? That's a phrase now.
No. I am not kind like that.
Ray just
You want to hear the song, listen to the battles, people.
That's true.
But that is it. Those were 4 reviews. Wow. And that's going to take us to our results. We got 2 polls here. Of course, we have the Mortalverse poll from our friends over at the Mortalverse Audio Dramas. Before the episode came out, before they knew who repped what character, they do an informal poll of who they bet going in will win the episode. And Sam, I believe you have the numbers in front of you right now. Let me get you.
Just got these in. Fresh
Riverside
off the Discord.
Absolutely botched this. Riverside botched this last time. So we're going to try a drum roll. We're going to try it. Here we go.
All right, the results of the Mortalverse poll with an astounding 90% is Moon Knight. Again, this is the mortal versus the unofficial poll, but that does mean that Scott Pilgrim came in with 10%.
Oh, that's fascinating. Okay, so we have the official Patreon
that's right.
poll, and maybe we'll even get another drum roll.
You're going to dare to do 2 drum. Wow. With 82% of the official poll vote, the win goes to Moon Knight. That is Moon Knight. 82. Which is, it is a better result.
The people are on their feet.
It's a little closer. So 18% for Scott Pilgrim. Sorry, Leroy.
So did you just bring me back to like insult me and just rub it in further? Because I feel like I kind of got enough of it.
Going into the battle, people, you had 10 points. Coming out of the battle, you gained points.
You did, yeah.
So I mean, that's something.
It did better in the official poll. So there's,
put that on my tombstone, I guess.
Gained 8 points in the Scott Pilgrim battle. Here lies Leroy Paterson.
Yeah. Snurts in the chat says,
I mean, it is what it is. The people have spoken.
Yeah.
I think, you know what? I think because I forgot to, in the original edit of the show, I forgot to edit out the Delvin Cox appearance.
I think that threw everybody off.
Threw everybody for a loop.
It is true.
Yeah.
I think there is like a 5-point Delvin Cox margin of error. I think that's how that works. Yeah. So who knows? We might have to redo this battle. Anything you would have done different, Leroy, you think, to bring the numbers up?
Yeah, I probably would have debated, a place with like good taste and understanding and like knows pop culture and like kind of gets, just has maybe seen things, so they would know that I really won.
Wow.
It's kind of just a whole completely different setup, I guess.
Sure.
Just because those aren't good numbers.
Fair, if we did this debate at an episode of Nearly Average Wrestling, you probably would have gotten like double the numbers you got, like 30.
And someone would have been attacked by a dinosaur and thrown through a door. So
there you go.
It's only a matter of time, really. But I do want to say the next Nearly Average Wrestling is February 13th at the Elysian Theater. I looked it up online after we were done last time, and I wanted to make sure I mentioned it. Will I be there? Remains to be seen.
All right.
I haven't received my VIP ticket yet. I'll be honest with you.
I mean, I'll put in for one. I'll request for one. But like, no, it's seriously going to be an insane show. I mean, at the last show, I played a drunk Santa Claus who was really upset that he had to be there so close to Christmas. Nice. A dinosaur was the security guard. And the show ended in a brawl between me as Santa, Shane Hartline, and the dinosaur against Kevin McAllister, the Grinch, and Krampus.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. So yeah, it's insanity. Every show is insane. This one, you gotta go.
Look, you guys don't have a ring set up.
We have a fake like setup. We have a ring or themed setup.
You have a battle area set up. But it's not
working on a stage. It's in a black box theater. You only,
Yeah.
Sure.
No. I mean, no going in. Here's the deal. I just was going to say, y'all brave. That's all I was going to say.
Yeah. The bumps on that stage are not fun, but
I've seen the bumps that happen in the teaser video.
Yeah.
And I was sitting there being like, oh my God.
Yeah. There are.
I've taken those types of bumps before, and they are not a delight.
No. Yeah, if I can avoid bumping on a stage, it's always a good night, but that's not always the case.
I don't even think you guys had the blue mats down.
No, we don't do that. That takes too long to set up.
Oh my God.
We got to get right into the chaos.
My daughter takes
Can I tell a wrestling story?
Classes. Oh, sorry. My daughter takes aerial silk classes.
Am I allowed to tell a wrestling story? Because this is one of my favorites.
Go ahead.
I did a show. This is a very long time ago. I did a show back in Michigan. It was called the Workers for Merkers show. It was a charity show to benefit somebody who was adjacent to the local Detroit wrestling scene. And weirdly enough, my tag team, the Destroyers of the Universe, myself, Almighty Ray, and Melvin Hertz, the wrestling nerd, we were in a 3-way tag team main event. I don't know how this happened. They put us in the main event of the charity show against a team called the Renegades. And that was Big Zed, and I'm completely blanking on the other gentleman's name. Bad job, me. They were very, very large men whose gimmick was that they were like bikers, like Harley Davidson riding Hell's Angels bikers. They were large men. They wore a lot of leather, and they were tough. And then the third team was called the Bumpin' Uglies, and that was the host of the show. The Bumpin' Uglies were how would you describe them? They were a wrestling / screamo band, and they would do musical shows with the wrestling ring on stage and have like wrestling matches that they would get involved in their own main events on their own live shows. And they were great. The Bumpin' Uglies, very, very talented, very, very fun to work with. And we found ourselves in a 3-way dance, a tag team match at the main event of the show. That's our setup. So we're doing the show, and it's coming around, and there was a spot that us and the Renegades were going to do together. And it was one of the Renegades were going to throw both me and my partner out of the ring. They got out of the ring and started beating on us outside, right where all the seats were, the primary seats were. And then they were going to give us what we call a triple suplex on the concrete floor of the hall where we were playing. And Levi Blue, that's the other guy's name. It was Big Zed and Levi Blue. And me and Levi Blue were paired up on the outside. And he gives me the first suplex on the concrete floor. And I hit ankles first. And I just remember after I hit the ground, my immediate thought was like, wow, that hurt a lot. Because it hit mainly the small of my back and my ankles simultaneously. Oof. And so Levi Blue says, "You ready to do another?" And I go, "I guess." And he pulls me up and hits me for a second one. I'm like, may as well keep going. Picks me up, hits me with a third one on the concrete floor. At this point, I'm like praising any deity I could think of that the spot was over for a moment and I could recover because my body was a tatters. And I'm telling myself, you're doing this for charity. You're doing this for one of the boys. You gotta put the effort out there. And it was great. And the funny thing is, we ended up winning the tag team match, which you would have never thought. But I ended up crawling in the ring after everybody was knocked out. I was the only person with life left. In my last gasp, I threw my arm over, I believe, one of the Renegades and pinned him 1, 2, 3 and won the match and had to be carried out. It was wonderful. Wonderful experience for the Destroyers of the Universe and Almighty Ray, the professional wrestler. But that being said, I get to the backstage area, and where this all comes to fruition is I'm talking to my tag team partner, Melvin Hertz, the wrestling nerd. And I go, "How was that triple suplex on the concrete for you guys?" "It was really bad. It hurt a lot." And he looks right at me and goes, "Oh, I'm sure it did. That's why me and Big Zed took the side with the mats on it. And forced you guys to the side that was raw concrete." And I've never been ready to choke out my tag team partner as much as I was in that moment. But given that he was an amateur class, third in the state of Michigan, high school wrestling champion in his senior year of high school, I decided not to take that shot because I would have been on the ground faster than you could say Jackie Robinson.
Are your ankles okay today?
No, my ankles are still a mess. Better than my back, though. So go figure. Anyway, good. I've derailed the show plenty. Yeah, I love old wrestling stories. That's one of my favorites. And we got comments, though. We got comments to talk about. I'm going to start here. We got Ollie Lowe. Ollie Lowe comes to us from the UK. He has sent in a demo tape. He will be on the show at some point, probably in the next couple of months, I would figure. We got to get this worked out. It's hard to get that logistically together.
Yeah.
He says, Moon Knight for the win. Just about. Leroy's original arguments for Scott made it sound like he had thousands of lives laid about, and I was reading it as a battle of attrition. Who will get tired first? Would Scott eventually give up and walk away? Or would Moon Knight collapse from exhaustion after doing the same thing 500 times? But with 9 lives maximum, I agreed with Ray's point that he's going to get stealthily taken out very quickly. The first time Scott comes back to life, he may take him by surprise. But Moon Knight does live in a universe where characters have healing factors, so it probably wouldn't debilitate him too much psychologically to have someone suddenly stand up from what would have been a fatal injury. And also in a neutral battlefield, who's to say the video game live system actually applies? Well, in defense of Leroy, I don't think Scott's lack of motivation argument applies too much, since a huge dude dressed in a white hood and cape trying to stab you in the face might well motivate you to fight pretty quickly. Ali, those are some great points, and thank you for writing in.
Yeah, it's good to know that Moon Knight is the spawn sniper. But yeah, no, I agree with that take on the motivation factor, which I think definitely played into things. And again, just never give Ray a weakness. Like, everything he's done so far is based on Ramona Flowers. Don't let him know that. Let Ray bring that up.
I'm just saying that some of the strengths that Moon Knight had, like being stealthy, a giant white caped
That's fair.
figure
It's
being
crazy
stealthy,
how that
I don't know
works.
about that. I'm just saying. Just saying. They weren't battling in snow. So, not stealthy.
That we know of. But no, they
it was
probably
not
weren't
specified
battling
beforehand. Nor after.
not.
Never
Probably
mentioned, actually. Just saying. Throwing that out there. Letting that simmer.
Fair enough. Moving on.
But I'm not bitter.
Okay.
I'm not bitter at all.
That's the not bitter face, so that's good. Lord Snurts, who is in the chat at this time, said, "Great to see Leroy back in action. I knew he was in trouble when Ray asked him to vamp more during point 1. That was left in the episode. Cool. Great." He also...
We cut it.
We got...
But don't worry about that.
That's fine. We should cut this too then. He also could have countered a bit harder. Easy for me to type this as an observer. This was a fun match, and I look forward to Leroy returning for another match. Sure, it's the Jeopardy syndrome of like, all the answers at home watching the TV, but in the heat of the moment, you're going to forget what the word for cat is.
Yeah, and we've heard that from like Matthew Dawson's talked about this, Delvin Cox has talked about this. You prepare as much as you can. And when you get into the heat of the moment, it goes like a million miles an hour and suddenly it's over. And you wonder about all the stuff you left on the table and wonder. Right. I do it every episode. I've been doing this for a long time now. And at the end of every episode, I think to myself, like, did I leave anything on the table? Did I actually hit the points I needed to? And usually I feel pretty good about it, but not always.
Sure. Yeah, I don't envy anyone who does the debating side, and I'm so glad that, I'm in the position that I'm in.
Right, I'm used to the judging aspect every time I've been on here, except for the one that we did. I've always been a judge, and so it's easy just to like hear both sides and be like,
for sure.
Okay, here's how it goes. And then having to vamp for so long was something that I'll get better at.
It's tough. Yes. I mean, look, first-time debaters, you think 3 minutes is like, not enough time to get in all your points until you get into the heat of it, and suddenly you realize that, like, everything you planned out is gone, and you still have 1:10 to go.
Well, that was worse because you brought up something that I had written in my second, like, rebuttal, and so I ended up using that in my first one as, like, a perfect, like, response to something. Yep. I'm like, well, I can't talk about that again.
Sure.
I've got a nice big hole missing.
Right.
It's tough. I mean, there's a lot of different ways you can plan out a battle. And especially you've never done this before.
Yeah.
So you learn from experience. That's what I've learned.
Definitely.
Yeah. All right. I got the next one here. This is from Cam Sully. Cam Sully's somebody else we're trying to get hooked up. He needs to shoot at irregular hours, and we got to put this together at some point. But Cam Sully, he sent us a demo as well. He's in the hopper pretty soon. His comment is just neither.
Wow.
Neither. Now, he went on social media and was talking about how he's not a fan of Moon Knight, the TV show.
Wow.
He's not a fan of Scott Pilgrim, the property. And you know what? I was young. I was young at one point, and I remember when I made hating things an entire personality, and I really, really enjoyed life, trashing absolutely everything that was like I was better than everything else around me. Yep. And as I've gotten older and lived in Los Angeles now 20 plus years, I've realized that's no way to conduct yourself. That's no way to live. Enjoy things. If you don't enjoy things, go find something you do enjoy and talk about that instead. There is nothing less interesting than hearing somebody talk about how much they hate something. Because when you get to a certain point, it makes it pretty clear you love it, or you wouldn't have put this much time investment into learning as much about it as clearly you have. So it's like they say, nobody hates Spider-Man like Spider-Man fans. Nobody hates Star Wars like Star Wars fans.
Yep.
And nobody hates everything like a dude in his early 20s.
Oh, wow. That is
Cam, I'm challenging you to be better.
That's
what I'm trying to say.
There you go.
I want to hear about stuff you like.
I want to know if Cam actually voted in the actual poll or not.
It's interesting. He was there. He should have.
Yeah, well, it'll be interesting to find out. All right. Moving on, Forbidden Mob is back with this gem. The human tack board had lots of passion and love for Scott. He put up a great fight. Pilgrim has a lot going for him. I think Eric Heiting brought up a great point. Who cares how many lives Scott has? The rules state something like incapacitation, removal, or death as the ways to win. What is this? Umark is taking him down at least once. I'm just going to read it the way it is. One death should be...
I just cut and paste. I don't assume
I'm just going to
anything.
read it. One death should be enough for Moon Knight to win. Regardless, I think he had to take those 9 lives fairly quick once he realizes what's going on. Like Ray said, he'd hide out, then assassinate him over and over. Scott has a big strength advantage, but MK knows every martial art. Superhuman levels of agility and strength, is stealthy in white somehow. LOL. It was a well-fought debate. This time, Ray claims the strap and all the bragging rights. Well done, gentlemen. Yeah, I think the rule about incapacitation, removal, or death, somebody, and I'm sure you have this comment somewhere else in this, brought up that then maybe we'll just wait for that. But in previous iterations, It's been like a 2-minute mark. So maybe, because Scott's video game, he does come back faster, just not enough.
Yeah, I mean, look, I just think there's a certain point where Scott's lives run out. And I made that point in the show, especially because Ramona Flowers is not at stake here. I could see a point where he would walk away. Leroy, you feel like you look like you have something to say.
He's like, I got to get pizza.
Yeah, I do like pizza. No, I'm just saying that, you keep bringing up this motivation thing, and I think you kind of talked that maybe someone, coming at you with weaponry and a giant white seen everywhere cape, you might be motivated to defend yourself, just saying. I don't think the motivation thing plays in as much as you want it to.
I mean, that's fair. Leroy is so intense, he is strobing out his microphone as he says that.
I just
he is going ham. Strangling the microphone. I'm glad I'm not in that room.
Rice Krispies of microphones.
I don't know that I'd make it out.
Though. I mean,
it's I want to be in that room.
It's very
but it's
big.
A trap,
like that.
says Admiral Akbar. That's where you get garroted. Okay, Bjorn the Viking says, I don't know much about Scott Pilgrim, except I was not fond of the movie, and he seems to have insane amounts of Toon Force when pushed. I don't get people who say they don't like the movie. It's an Edgar Wright movie. It's brilliant.
It's a movie. Yeah, I don't get
that
either.
The best non-MCU movie ever made.
The cast is absolutely phenomenal. The property is fun as all get out. It's not a movie that takes itself seriously in any way. It provides you with this insane world of Canada that involves constant battles, and every one of those battles is interesting, and everyone that he battles is famous. What do we want out of our movies? This is a movie that I would make. This is brilliant. Edgar Wright, if you don't like, Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and The World's End, I don't know what to tell you.
Ooh, my phone just gave me a storage warning, so...
yeah, I saw that as well. That's pretty dangerous.
I'm not sure what to do here.
We're just
keep going.
Packing this phone with tons of great Scott Pilgrim facts.
We'll just push our way to the end. That's all we're going to do. We got plenty to do here.
Okay.
Anyway, I believe it's your turn with an Eric Heiting comment.
Yeah. Eric Heiting said, Toon Force is a big deal, but I don't think Moon Knight has it. Scott being able to come back after death is a hurdle to get over. But one Moon Knight can do. There's a weird it there. Part of me says that if Scott dies, then that should be considered a defeat. Isn't one of the rules that you win by death? That should be the end of the match. When Scott comes back, that'd be battle number 2. Great episode. Glad to hear it. Keep it up, guys. So yeah, again, I think the 2-minute stipulation on death is necessary, but I do think he would continue to get killed.
That was written by ChatGPT. We can't even consider that.
Wow. I don't see a single M dash or emote.
But it's getting better.
Well, it's not the only thing written by ChatGPT, but not on this show. Anyway, moving forward, Lord Moxford. Leroy, you might want to close your ears for this one. Ahoy, gents. With Leroy being known as the human tack board, I expected him to put up more of a fight. He didn't bring the heat or the pressure needed to defeat Ray, and at the end of the day, left him an extinguished coal. In summation, #Ray is right. Sam, the American Council for Microwave Burritos has joined together with the National Pizza Roll Foundation and the United Brotherhood of Hot Pockets Local 35 and 72 formed the International Coalition of Foods that burn the bejesus out of your mouth while remaining cold in the middle, or the ICFTBOYMWRCM for short. That's good to know.
Exactly.
You just got to throw them in an air fryer and they're perfect.
Yeah. I made pizza rolls for my kid tonight, and I'm a fan of pizza rolls. You can tell by looking at me.
Did you teach her how to do the thing? Okay.
I taught her how to just let them sit while she watches iPad for like 15 minutes, and then they cool down to the point where you could finally eat them.
Okay.
Really, I just put them down next to her, but didn't say anything for 15 minutes because she was watching iPad.
All right. William Schmidt brings us this novel that says, I think...
Last one.
All right. I think the Who Would Win Masters victory conditions require a bit more definition. Battles can be won by death, knockout, battlefield removal, or incapacitation, but that sentence leaves out a critical point found in previous seasons' rules. Sure, an opponent might get incapacitated for a moment by a web or net, or they might die, quote unquote, from a building dropping on their head. But if they escape the net or reanimate from death seconds later, I feel like the battle continues. The missing condition here is clarification of a 2-minute duration during which the opponent is unable to continue the fight. This is a condition that appears to have been omitted from reading the rules of this season, but I believe it is meant to still be in effect. If that is the case, Scott gets to use his power and stay in the battle after he dies. No TKO for short-term dirt naps. However, this is not necessarily a good thing for Scott, as he is going to get killed 9 times. 9 times 9 times? Okay. Mrs. Bueller. And then he will be out of extra lives. Moon Knight is just too good a fighter. He has beaten the best Marvel has to offer. He also has magical protection and God watching over him as part of his core power set. He will unalive Scott a 10th time, in my opinion. Moon Knight gets my vote for this battle. Sorry, Leroy.
Sorry, Leroy.
I'm very sorry. He was kind of gloating with that one.
Leroy, I'm not gonna lie. Usually the comments give you some sort of red meat to chew on, but comment section was not kind today. So I do apologize.
I'll find some way to, make myself feel better. And
it's all right. It's gonna be all right.
Is that a ring? Is that a spring that goes under the ring?
No, it's a Webby.
It's a Webby.
I would have appreciated either one, so I'll take the Webby. No, literally, I'll take it. I won it in tribute in this battle.
God.
You went. Yeah, I'll leave it outside my front door for you to pick it up.
Stakes on this.
Thank you. I know you put down bear traps. Right. Don't you think I don't? I'll be picking it up via drone, sir.
Okay, I'll replace that. There we go. There's another one.
So what we're gonna do right now is we're gonna go. Yeah, 2 minutes for the record to answer that question. 2 minutes is what we are going to do. 2 minutes for incapacitation, death. You got 2 minutes to come back. That's fine. 2 minutes is great. Sure. We'll do the thing. Why not, William Schmidt? Look at you, rule stickler over there. You beat me in a battle, and suddenly now you think you get to dictate the rules. You were voted debater of the year, tied for first place with someone else. And now, I don't even mention names. If you beat me, you're dead to me. That's my answer. Thank you for understanding, Leroy.
Well, I didn't want to lose your friendship, and that meant more, so I tanked the fight. That's what happened.
I mean, that's what they all say. In any case, we're going to go on over to our ad break, and we will be right back. This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. February is a big month for relationships. It's easy to sit back and think everyone else but you has it all figured out. Let me tell you, they don't. It doesn't matter if you're single, coupled, married, none of the above. Therapy can help you. Therapy can help you figure out what you want, why you want it, and how to be your best self to go and try to get it. When I've had relationship issues in the past, I've turned to therapy to help sort through my conflicts, complicated feelings, and the best path forward. Through engaging with my problems and actively working towards finding the best way forward, I got positive results, and there's a very good chance that if you give it a try, you will too. BetterHelp is the world's largest online therapy platform. They have 30,000 therapists, and they'll match you with one who can best meet your personal needs. And if that one doesn't work, no problem. They'll find another qualified therapist to try instead. Sign up and get 10% off at BetterHelp.com. That's BetterHelp.com. And now we're at the point of the show. Yeah, I assume starts too that the 2 minutes was in place. Sam Proof is having more technical issues as his phone has run out of storage to hold the recording of this episode. So that's a thing we're gonna work through. We're gonna deal with. Leroy, it's gonna be me and you until Sam comes back after having deleted what I assume is copious amounts of black market things off of his phone. That's okay, Sam. Sam, you come back when you need to. I got new segments here because we have an amazing Discord for the Who Would Win Masters show. And we have people offering up battle suggestions. And I thought we could take a moment on the wrap-up episode to talk about some of the various battles that have been suggested. I have 2 here, and I would love to get more. So if you have battles you want to see, go on our Discord, go on our discussion page, and tell us what battles you want to see. So here we go. We got 2 right here. We got John Shanks, who says, an out there idea. Mary Poppins versus Pazuzu. Megan, take her medicine with a spoonful of sugar or just spit it back up. Unless you want to go down the Mary Poppins / Pennywise same species fan theory rabbit hole as another potential matchup. Halloween's a long way off, but never too early to prepare. John Shanks, that's a fascinating idea. Leroy Paterson, how do you feel about Mary Poppins versus a literal demon?
I kind of feel they're evenly matched, both from a good and bad standpoint, you know, because Poppins is bringing that like chaotic good, and Pazuzu's got that chaotic evil going on, you know, and it's nice because Mary Poppins is looking after little kids, and Pazuzu's possessing little kids, so it's natural that they would cross paths at some point.
It's true, though. What if Mary Poppins showed up to nanny a group of children and one of them was possessed by the devil spirit Pazuzu? Honestly, that's a movie I would like to see. We're making a lot of weird. We got the Predator versus like Native Americans. I've very much said I want to see Jaws versus the Mayflower.
I like that.
I think it would be a lot of fun.
Yep.
Yeah. I want to see more weird movies where we've done everything in the horror space at this point. I've seen Leroy Paterson in a vampire movie. I've seen our good friend Tommy Bechtold from the New Rockstars get murdered by Mickey Mouse in a Steamboat Willie send-up. I feel like I've seen everything under the sun. I want to see that. More
other than vampires, because vampires can't go out in the sun.
No, vampires, look, Reclaim Detroit's a great audio drama. I suggest everybody check it out. It's a lot of fun. Thank you. Finally, Cloud29 of our Discord fun, he says, I need Kaido from One Piece to be in a battle. Leroy, who is Kaido from One Piece? Do you follow the Piecers?
So Kaido is a character that I have no idea about because I've never watched any One Piece. My apologies.
Yeah, there are like 1,800 episodes of One Piece. I've eaten at the One Piece Cafe here in downtown Los Angeles, and I thought it was a hoot. I actually bought a collared shirt that I could wear on the show at some point of all the One Piece characters, despite never having watched a full episode of One Piece. Oh, but here we go. We got more here. He says, I think the last battle with Luffy versus the Human Torch was debated poorly. I don't know who he means by that. And some things about Luffy were completely wrong. Was that me? Was that me who repped Luffy? It can't have been. I must have been the Human Torch in that episode, right? I can't speak to it. I barely remember that episode. Anything that happened before Who Would Win Masters is but a slight blur to me. I used to be able to tell you who won each battle, what the arguments that were made were, and all of the above. But I can't quite do that anymore. I just can't do that because it's just not true.
It's not canon anymore.
It's just not. So we're going to move on here. We got look, I want to try out the email song. I want to try it out again because I don't think that it got the full appreciation that it should have gotten earlier. I think if you heard it one more time, you would appreciate it a lot. So Leroy, I want an independent opinion about the email song. Here we go.
Let's hear from the community. Reading emails is our destiny. You've got a voice, you got something to say, and we're gonna read them, 'cause it's annoying to read. Now it's time to end this song before it gets to be way too long to do anymore. We just prolong this intro, which would be wrong. It's Who Would Win Masters. Email time. It's Who Would Win Masters. Email time.
All right. Lord Snurts in chat is letting me know that I repped Popeye versus Luffy, and I repped Human Torch against Luffy. And apparently Luffy was repped very poorly in those battles. Let me just sit here and tell you I'm not surprised. If it wasn't me repping Luffy in those battles, I'm not surprised. Look, I'm sure the battle was fantastic. I'm sure it was the best that ChatGPT could have offered in that moment. The point I'm trying to make right now is it's email time, and our friend Luke has emailed the show, and he says, Dear Ray and Sam, I couldn't help but notice that in the recent past, you guys mentioned the possibilities of you guys redoing previous battles from the original Who Would Win show. Luke, that's true. If that's true, Luke, I just said it was true, then I have a modest handful of suggestions that you guys could pull out. There is a bit of a thing here. Oh, apparently I won as the Human Torch, but lost as Popeye. Probably should have won both battles now that I'm reading that out loud. But 1 for 1, I'll take it. Here's the battles that Luke thinks that we should try to do again. And y'all tell me if any of this jumps out at you, because this is a fairly long list. Master Chief versus Cyclops. That's a very classic battle with a very surprise ending. Master Chief versus Black Panther. Catwoman versus Ezio Auditore de Firenze from Assassin's Creed. He was from Assassin's Creed games. He says, hashtag Ray was robbed that day. He says, Bowser versus Raven. That was a good battle, if I remember correctly.
The wrestler?
Bowser versus Raven. I wish it was Raven from The Flock. I love the fact that he is nothing like his character in real life. That made me laugh really hard when I saw his kayfabe interviews from this last 6 months. What a joy. You forget sometimes.
That
Even
guy.
if you work it, you forget.
I've shared a locker room or two with him, and he's an interesting fellow.
He seems awesome. But Raven from the Teen Titans is who that one was. Vision versus Samus Aran. Hashtag Ray was robbed that day. It's probably going to be a common theme with this list. Wolverine Fox versus Spider-Man MCU. Wario versus Batman, the animated series. Fun. Blade versus Waluigi. Wow, we did that one. Jon Snow versus Inigo Montoya from The Princess Bride. Hashtag Ray was robbed that day. Shadow the Hedgehog versus Kirby. Hashtag Ray was robbed that day. And Batman 89 versus The Incredible Hulk from TV's The Incredible Hulk show on CBS. Hashtag Ray was robbed that day as well. I believe that's a fantastic battle. I would do that. And finally, Deadpool and Wolverine versus Ladybug and Cat Noir from the cartoon Miraculous, the French cartoon from Netflix. Love that show. Very good battle. A lot of fun. Any of those battles stand up to you guys?
Vision, Samus Aran, right? You got two tech-based. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
I'm a fan. Well, I'm going to go ahead and move forward with the show right now to talk about what we are watching. And this involves monologuing, so we should be okay even with slight technical issues. So I have finished my first season rewatch of TV's Sledgehammer. We watched the pilot together at our last movie night. And folks, movie night will be coming up once again for the people at home, for the patrons. This is a normal Friday night. We hang out, we kick a few back, we watch a movie. In this last case, we watched the pilot of the TV show Sledgehammer because I thought it was important for everyone to see. But then we watched Kung Pao Enter the Fist, a laugh-out-loud comedy, one of my all-time favorite comedic movies, and we had a very good time doing it. Sledgehammer Season 1 is a hoot. It's a great parody show. It's a great parody of Dirty Harry and cop shows of the 70s. And having watched a lot of those types of shows, I could say right now what a joy it is to just to enjoy Sledgehammer. I've seen pretty much every single episode probably 3 times at least in syndication each, but it's fun to go back and revisit it, remembering how brilliant it was. You can catch them on Prime Video, and if you're a fan of the genre, you want some kind of over-the-top comedic stuff, Sledgehammer, go check it out. Leroy, I'm going to kick over to you next. What have you been watching lately?
Well, I just watched all of Wonder Man, the MCU Disney Plus show. Brand new. It's excellent. So much fun. I don't want to spoil nothing, but it's a great addition to the MCU while being its own separate thing. So if you're bogged down by everything that's going on and you don't want to try to jump in now because there's been so much released, it's really kind of its own standalone thing. There's some reoccurring, moments and stuff, but you don't need that to enjoy the show. You don't need to have the knowledge going in. It's excellent. So much fun.
That's so funny. My second thing was going to be I watched the first 3 episodes of Wonder Man last night, and they were delightful. I had a great time with it, and I don't understand why Marvel doesn't believe in this show. Like, why did they drop all the episodes at once? They should have done 2 half-hour episodes.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And then done it over the course of 4 weeks and turned it into a little bit of event television. What they had was brilliant. I saw it get like 90% on one of those critic review shows.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand. Disney, you pump us full of stuff that we're not into, and then you give us something perfect. And I'll say right now, I also just recently finished watching The Studio with Seth Rogen, and that first scene of Wonder Man, without spoiling anything, was just as awkward, uncomfortable, and ridiculous as anything seen in the studio, which is a very, very fun thing. Sam,
I might
what
be
have you
with
been
us.
watching
I don't know
lately?
if
Are
I'm
you with us right now?
But, yeah, I've been watching. I just started the James Franco Chris Cooper show 11/22/63, which is it's a time travel show, and the sort of conceit is that they have like this magical Narnia-esque door that takes them back to a very specific moment in time, 3 years before JFK gets killed, and Cooper convinces Franco to go back and try and stop the assassination. So I'm only a few episodes into it, but it's really awesome. It's well done, and I'm going to see how it goes. Oh, yeah.
If you like it, I highly suggest the book, too. I'm a huge fan of the book. The show I thought was pretty good. I wouldn't have cast Franco in the role.
It's a weird choice.
Terrible actor, maybe terrible person, but especially reading the book, I had a very different vision of the guy in my head. But the show was still good and enjoyable enough, but the book is amazing, and I recommend on that.
You hear that? You still have a chance, Hollywood, to cast me in that role.
I mean, I don't know if that's exactly what I was saying, but
I mean, I feel like that's what you were saying, though. That's
I just want you to get work. Like, if that's what it takes, if you want to, you could probably pull it off, maybe.
I think I could pull it off. Look, this is a separate story. I'm going to keep telling stories because I'm feeling like it tonight. But I used to work at a company called Games Workshop, and they used to make they still make the Warhammer series of miniatures to build, paint, and game with, and it is a wonderful hobby if you're looking for hobbies. And as I worked there, I worked with a gentleman named Kenneth Mead. Kenneth Mead ran a different store, I believe, over in Atlanta. And, we were very friendly, when we would see each other at the sales conferences and had a good time. And I found out a little bit later, Kenneth Mead, it was an artist. He's been on the Who Would Win show originally as a judge one time, and a tremendous fellow, a really good guy. And support his science fiction books. Go buy them on Amazon right now. But I found out that we were in an elevator together, like a year into me knowing him, and he's kind of giving me a weird look. And I'm like, "What's up, dude? What's going on?" And he's like, "You need to know this." I go, "Oh boy." He says, "My newest novel has a character. The character's name is, I think it was Stannis." And he says, "It's you. I made you into a character in my sci-fi novels. And I just feel like you should know this." And I'd met the guy, a half dozen times, had wonderful conversations, late night bar conversations, what have you, at these sales conferences. But apparently I made such an impact on him that he wrote me into his books as a character. And I don't know for a fact because I haven't read them all. I'm pretty sure I die at some point terribly, but don't you want that out of your novels? So Hollywood, when you go to make that into a major motion picture,
source material,
consider the source. That's all I'm trying to say.
All right.
Kenneth Mead, look up his books. Sam, let's get you back into it again. We got a few minutes to go.
I can't remember a whole lot of this week, but I did start watching Max Headroom from way back when. I found that on Tubi, so. Yeah, and then I was like, "Oh, we should do this as a movie night too." But and it's so good. It's still really, really good, and I think now more than ever it holds up. Yeah,
Matt Frewer is one of my Matt Frewer is one of my favorite actors. He just in everything he's in, he's so good. Even Lawnmower Man 2, he's great.
Yeah, loved him in Watchmen.
Mm-hmm.
Loved him as the voice of the Pink Panther in the cartoon show.
Yeah,
delightful. Leroy, you got one more for us here?
TV shows?
Video games, movies. What you been doing?
Let's talk video games. So I've been doing two different things. I've been plowing through the Yakuza series. I love those games so much. I'm finally going back and playing some of the older ones. So that's been a ton of fun. And I've been hooked on this game called WWE Champions. It's like a mobile wrestling Candy Crush kind of thing.
Oh, nice.
And I had a really good weekend of the game. I got some of the rarest characters. It was a good weekend for me.
That's what I love to see. For me, video games, I got one more, and then we'll start moving on out of here. But I just bought a new desktop computer, and I have it at home right now. It just arrived a week ago, and then I got super sick, so I haven't been able to mess with it till the last couple of days. So what did I do with this new play everything state-of-the-art computer? I loaded it up last night, and I played League of Legends because that's the kind of person I am. I've worked on League of Legends, all truth be told. Big fan of the game. Went 1 and 2 in 3 ranked games and had a blast. Even when it's not going well, it's still fun. It's just a game I enjoy being a part of. Also, we talked about Final Fantasy earlier. I've gotten back. I'm playing Chrono Trigger some more for my first ever time playthrough. I very much enjoy it and having a blast with it. And then finally, Ashes of Creation, a brand new MMO style game that I just got into. I'm only about 4 hours in. I don't really understand why it's special or why it was recommended to me, but who cares? If you're playing it, tell me what I'm missing. I would like to know. And I also want to say, I am a fan of retro horror games on old console generations. If anybody has a retro horror game suggestion, Forbidden Mob it suggested I play Alan Wake 1 and Alan Wake 2. I had to tell him I've already got 100% trophies on both of those games. One of my favorite properties of all time, but I do appreciate the suggestion, and any more that the people want to share, hit us up on Patreon, Discord, Threads, Instagram. I do not care. Leroy is grabbing something from the back shelf. He has Clock Tower 3. I have beaten Clock Tower 3, and the Rule of Rain, is that the other one?
Rule of Rose.
That's like $250 to buy on eBay right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little pricey, but
I hear it's great, though. I've heard it's very, very good, and apparently the Infinite DLC from BioShock and Burial at Sea. So there you go. That's what Snurts has to talk to us about. Real quick, next battle, and then Sam will get out of here because I know your tech is fun tonight. Yeah. So next battle is going to be, speaking of Disney Plus, Wonder Man will be on the show. Comic book Wonder Man versus Omni-Man from the Invincible series. Here's the deal. The TV show Wonder Man cannot hang with Omni-Man. But if you know your comic books, the Wonder Man from the comic books definitely equals Omni-Man in power. It's going to be a strength versus strength matchup. With the debating against me will be returning to the show, Matthew Dawson of the Mortalverse audio drama People and series. Wonderful. He is playing Wonder Man in a different production of an audio drama. So nobody will know Wonder Man comic book better than Matthew Dawson. I am going to be up against it next week with Omni-Man. I feel good, but we'll see what the people have to say, and we'll see what Sam has to say at the end of the day. Leroy, any last plugs you want to make before Sam gets us out of here?
Yeah, go see NAW on the 13th at the Elysian Theater in Los Angeles. It's a great, crazy show. Go to your local Target or Walmart or Amazon and get Belly Welly if you're looking for fiber. It's delicious, and I make ads for it. And just I've got another fun international reality show coming up, but I can't mention it yet. So
I love this. I look forward
socials,
to seeing you on The Traitors. Season 72.
I did do ads for them. I edited some cool gift stuff for them, but nope, not that show.
Bummer. I fell off after season 1.
Yeah, no.
Can I just say really quick, The Traitors. It's a reality show where everybody comes on the show and says, I want to be a traitor. I really want to shove everybody under the bus, and I really want to stick it to my teammates on this show. And then they bring on like 20 people who all have that same mindset. And then the show starts playing out, and we get to any point, and people are shocked that they're being betrayed. And then they're leaving the show crying, saying, I can't believe you would betray me on a show called The Traitors that I signed up for, wanting to be a traitor. And I fell off after season 1. I hear it's great. But how do I handle a show where apparently every single person on the show who seemingly knows what's up has no idea what's up? Why are you getting legitimately real life mad at people for betraying you on a game show called The Goddamn Traitors? Are you an idiot? I don't like watching shows with idiots. That's why I don't watch Wheel of Fortune anymore.
You called anyone on the show an idiot, and then you also suggested earlier that I was going to be on the show. Is this how you're telling me?
No, once I found out you were not on the show, it was safe to call them all idiots.
Okay, fair. I feel, because I was about to feel betrayed, and I was going to leave crying.
I mean, that's, you know what, if you're trying to get on Traitors, it would be a good warm-up.
It's my audition tape. I'm in. I can't believe he invited me here as a friend, and go be stupid. Who does that?
Now I want you on The Traitors. I feel terrible about this.
I'll do it. I will get traded all day. That's what I'm about.
It's fair. I'd never believe you, though. I would never believe you were the traitor.
No.
You'd win.
Too nice. Can't do it.
Yeah. I would betray everyone in a heartbeat.
That's just rude. That's just plain old rude.
Put me on The Traitors. Get me back on television. All right, Sam Proof's technical issues have knocked him out for the rest of this episode, so it's going to be me right now telling you that if you think you've got what it takes to challenge me on the Who Would Win Masters show, send your 1-minute video demo repping any character you feel like. It doesn't matter. We just want to see how awesome you are. And you can send that to whowouldwinmasters@gmail.com. Until then, find us on all the socials. Who Would Win Master on TikTok, whatever. I don't use the app. All right. Look, I'm not, this is why Sam does these. Instagram, YouTube. Find us on all the things, the Discord, patreon.com/whowouldwinmasters. Until then, I'm not Sam Proof, but you should still stay strong.